Dear March, come in. How glad I am. I hoped for you before. Put down your hat. You must have walked. How out of breath you are. Dear March, how are you? And the rest, did you leave nature well? Oh, March, come right upstairs with me. I have so much to tell. I got your letter, and the birds. The maples never knew that you were coming. I declare how red their faces grew. But March, forgive me, and all those hills you left for me to hew. There was no purple suitable, you took it all with you. Who knocks? That April. Lock the door. I will not be pursued. He stayed away a year to call when I am occupied, but trifles look so trivial as soon as you have come. That blame is just as dear as praise, and praise as mere as blame.
Dear March is one of Emily Dickinson's many nature poems. She wrote this poem in 1874. Dickinson was born in Massachusetts, America, in 1830. Altogether, she wrote 1,800 poems. However, only 10 of her poems were published during her lifetime. After her death, Dickinson's sister Lavinia found the rest of her poems in her desk drawer. The poet's close observations of nature and its cycles inspired much of her poetry. The poem Dear March sums up beautifully the anticipation of spring's arrival. We feel this in the first 3 lines of the poem. Dear March, come in. How glad I am. I hoped for you before. The speaker sounds almost breathless with excitement at March's arrival. The poem has a very conversational tone to it. The speaker clearly cares about March, like one cares for a long-awaited old friend who has been away for a whole year. The use of the word dear at the beginning of the poem also shows us that the speaker is fond of March. After all, this month brings with it new life and warmer weather after a long, harsh winter. The speaker personifies her good friend, telling March to put down your hat, come right upstairs with me. Then the speaker asks, Dear March, how are you? The month of March is the end of winter and the start of spring, which brings with it rebirth, transformation, renewal and hope. The speaker says to March, how out of breath you are. This line could be interpreted as the winds, breath of winter, dying down as the seasons change and spring begins. The poem then takes a turn. The speaker's long-awaited friend March has only just arrived, and already April is knocking at the door. This gives us a feel of how fast time passes. The fact the speaker wants to lock the door on April shows a resistance to the passing of time. She is enjoying March so much that she does not want it to end. In poetry, spring often symbolises youth. So could it be that the speaker is worried about losing her youth and growing older? April is also personified, this time as an intruder. Who knocks? That April. Lock the door. The fact that April is knocking on the door reminds us that change is inevitable and not something that we can control. March will turn into April regardless of our feelings about it. The speaker views April like an intruder who must be kept out. We get the feeling the speaker is resistant to change. She wants to lock the door on April. The speaker is resistant to April's arrival and wants to stay in the first blush of spring. The poem reminds us that we must appreciate the present while it lasts. There are some who believe that March is actually symbolic of Dickinson's dear friend, Pastor Charles Wadsworth, with whom she shared a deep bond and spiritual connection. In letters, she addressed Charles as her dear friend. just like the first line of Dear March. Dickinson wrote to Charles regularly but rarely saw him in person, so March could very well symbolise Charles in this poem. It would explain the great anticipation and excitement the speaker feels about March arriving in her home. One thing we can take away from this poem is to enjoy every moment and appreciate the present while it lasts, because life and the seasons fly by so fast.
If you enjoyed this poetry reading and would like to be notified of my next reading and future readings, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.